Time for the hot read. Brandon's got two looks for week 8. You had the Denver New Orleans Thursday night game that did not go under. And then you had the Jets and Pittsburgh game tonight, which ended up having a lot of points for Pittsburgh. So got to get back on track. What do we like for week 8? Your first hot read.
Yeah, I think this is our first 0-2 hot read week in almost a full calendar year. So not my favorite, but yeah, let's get back on the board. We're gonna mix up a little bit here. By the way, make sure to hit the like on our YouTube if you're watching. Give us a little like here. Something different today. Normally I take favorites here if I'm playing a side because normally that's the way the line moves toward the favorites, right? I'm going with two underdogs here this time. So first one, we've teased these a little bit. Give me the Colts plus 6.5 at the Texans. I just don't believe in this Texans team. These teams played week 1. Texans were 2.5 point favorites. Now 6.5. Is home field really that much an advantage in today's NFL? Has Houston really looked that much better to have improved on the line? I don't think so. Houston won by 2 in that game. It was pretty close all the way. I don't see a reason for the line to swing this far here. The Texans haven't swept the Colts since 2016. So they're already 1-0. That means you can't sweep here. Texans have only won 4 of the last 11 against the Colts. So this has really not been a great team for Houston to play. Again, we talked about them earlier, underwhelming against Green Bay. They're struggling against the spread. They did cover by half a point today, but they really shouldn't have by the numbers. And I like the backdoor possibility here. Colts 5-2 in the second half ATS, Texans 1-6. So I think the Colts hang, but even if they don't, I think the Colts can maybe come through the back door and close on a long number here. We mentioned too, Nico Collins. I think in this particular game is an especially big loss. He has demolished the Colts the last 3 games, 458 yards the last 3 games against the Colts last season. In this one, no Collins, not a lot of offense here. Gus Bradley's defense, I'm not a big fan. Former North Dakota State coach. I know him pretty well, but what he does is he makes you earn it. You got to grind it and grind it out down the field, and that's not the thing the Texans do very well with their bad early down offense. Colts have covered 6.5 all 7 games this season. So road dogs 6.5, 57% ATS the last 15 years. And if you want the money line, don't play the money line. The Colts are 7-1 to win the division, and they're tied for the division lead if they win this game. So I think you can actually juice this up a little bit if you like it. But I will stick with Colts plus 6.5 at the Texans. Get that above the key number.
Okay. You could, two quick ones. I mean, you could get Jonathan Taylor back too. That news is important.
Sure.
You get Richardson off another week. Kind of, he was getting acclimated today. Would you play this at 5.5? Because I'm seeing 5.5 out there too.
I would not play it right now at 5.5. I definitely
Wait.
want to get there. There is a book that has the 6.5, so I'm grabbing the 6.5 if you can. I want it above the key number. I would take it at 6. I wouldn't not play at 5.5, but I don't need to hot read it there. As always, they're trying to get ahead of the key numbers. So yeah, get the 6.5 book if you can. Second pick, similarly, only a couple of books with this one. Cardinals. We're going ahead of the Monday night game before they even play. Cardinals plus 3.5 at the Dolphins. Look, the Dolphins are terrible. I understand Tua is supposed to play in this game, but the Dolphins have scored 70 points all season. Remember when they did that in a game last year? They did that in a game last year.
It's
They have
Denver, right?
70 points in 6 games, under 12 points a game. You can't make that team better than a field goal favorite against just about anyone at this point of the season. And I know, yeah, well, what if Tua comes back and what if they're not the team that they've been anymore? What if Tua doesn't come back? If he doesn't, we might get Tim Boyle in this game as a 3.5 point favorite. That's the big play here, honestly, is I'm just going to grab this number and we don't know if Tua's going to play. If he does play, the whole thing with Tua has been an offense predicated on timing and feel, and the dude hasn't been on the field for 6 weeks. So I'm not sure that even there that you love being over a field goal favorite above the key number. Skylar Thompson is hurt. Tyler Huntley is hurt. Tim Boyle sounds like a character from The Office. Put those guys out there. I'm going to take the 3.5 points for the Cardinals here. I think the Cardinals offense is the only unit on the field that we know is like decent at least. the Dolphins defense hasn't really been much better than the Cardinals so far. So I'm going to grab this now. Maybe the Cardinals look pretty good tomorrow night, and that probably moves the line past the key. Maybe we just get some bad news at quarterback for the Dolphins. I don't know what's happening with Tua, so I'll grab it now. If it turns out, like, I think this line is assuming Tua is supposed to play. I don't
Has
know how
to.
you'd be making
Yeah.
them minus three
Look
and
at
a
the
half otherwise.
look at the
Yeah.
total. 48
Yeah.
and a half points.
Yeah, right. Because before the season, the Cardinals are supposed to have the worst defense and the Dolphins are supposed to have the number one offense. Some crazy person, me, on this podcast gave them out to lead the league in points. They have 70 in 6 games, but there's an assumption, I think, that Tua will just plug back in. They'll be the Dolphins again. Tua played for the Dolphins the first couple of games. They weren't the Dolphins those games quite yet then either. They didn't look very good even with him then. We'll see. I'll take the 3.5. Give me the Cardinals.